Hello friends, good morning and welcome to this class again. I hope you are all benefiting from this video classes and writing down the notes and reading the textbooks again and again. That is more important. Just listening alone is not enough. You must read the textbook again and again. So in this chapter, as you know, we are talking about people as a resource. We said there are resources like land, labor, and the human capital. So among all these resources, people is the most important resource. Why? Because if people are not there, then all the other resources will become useless. Nobody is there to use land. Nobody is there to use engines, machines, labor, all that. So everything is managed by people. Therefore, people are the most important resources. And so we said we must train the people in order to make the maximum use of it by providing education, by providing skill, providing good health and so on. So we saw in the other class about how an educated person can make a difference in production. Now let us see today how important health is for a person to be a resource. The health of the person, how important it is. How important is health? So you can take your textbook page number 23 about health. You shall see what are the steps government is taking in order to help the people to develop their health and make them a healthy people. Firm maximize profit. Do you think any firm would be induced to employ people who might not work efficiently as a healthy worker because of ill health? So as a just question given to you. Just think or just imagine you are the owner of a company and you employ so many people. So if a person comes to you, he is very weak in his health. He cannot work continuously 2-3 hours. Forget about 6, 7, 8 hours in a day. Even after working 2 hours or 3 hours, he feels very tired. He has to sit down and then he has to take rest for some time. So if such a person comes to you, to your company, will you give him job? Will you say, okay, come my dear friend, I will give you this job, please do this. Will you agree? You will not agree because your purpose or your aim is to get maximum profit from your company. So if you employ this person, he will be able to work only 2 or 3 hours in a day and you have to pay him salary. So for you it is a loss. Your profit will be less if you make him to work only for few hours and give him salary. You will be losing. Instead you appoint a healthy person who can work very fast, very strong. He will not feel tired at all. Then if you appoint that person, then he is going to bring profit to your company and you will be happy to appoint that strong fellow than this sickly fellow. So that is why we say health is important. If a sickly person is employed or most of the people in our country are sickly, then they cannot work too long. They need rest, they need medicine and therefore it becomes a liability for our country. So that's why we say health is very important. So the health of a person helps him to realize his potential and the ability to fight illness. An unhealthy person becomes a liability for an organization engaged. Health is an indispensable basis for realizing one's well-being. Henceforth, improvement in the health status of the population has been the priority of the country. Our national policy too aimed at improving the accessibility of healthcare, family welfare and nutritional service with a special focus on underprivileged segment of population. So government is trying to do their level best by providing good health centers, hospitals and providing nutritional food to the people, especially those who are underprivileged, those who are very poor, those who are not able to manage on their own. So government tries to come to help them, provide them hospital, medicines, the food through the ration shops and so on. And so there are also different services like family care, mother and care, mother child care. All these programs are initiated by the government in order to help these underprivileged people so that they can get nutritious food and they can grow up as a healthy citizens, and that is very much important for the growth of our economy. Over the last 5 decades, India has built up a very vast health infrastructure and main power required at primary, secondary and tertiary care in government as well as in the private sector. So during the last 5 decades, that means last 50 years, what the government has been doing, that means soon after the independence, India has been doing, trying to develop health infrastructure, trying to build up hospitals and dispensaries, and the manpower required at primary, secondary and tertiary care. So the manpower that is required, the people that is needed to work in these different levels or different sectors like primary, secondary and tertiary sectors. So government has been doing very well as well as in the private sector. So apart from the government, the private party also, the private companies are also trying to set up hospitals, trying to set up people skilled, trained in this health area to be doctors, to be nurses and so on. So as you look around, you will find a lot of people are getting trained. Some are trained in the government colleges, some are trained in the private colleges, and some work in the government hospitals, some work in the private clinics and so on. So all these are initiatives taken by the government as well as the private, because all have realized the importance of health. A sickly person will be liability always, for liability for his family, liability for the government. Sometimes if it is a poor family and the man gets a very serious ill health, then the whole family will have to struggle. All the money that they have may be going for treatment, still they may not get alright, and the whole family may not have enough food to eat. So they will be struggling and struggling because there is an unhealthy person in that family. So in order to avoid that, for the whole population need to be healthy, and so government, private companies, everybody is trying to introduce and institute health infrastructure and train the people. Now see what is given in that column, yellow column, blue column. These measures adopted have increased the life expectancy over 64 years in 2000. So because of these abilities or the initiative that government has taken on health facility, the life expectancy means the length of the life. The average life of a people have risen to 64. So according to the census in 2000, the Indian people are living average 64 years. So some may be dying little early, some may be dying little late. But if you take average, a person will live for 64 years. So that is because of the health facility that is provided, the good nutritious food that is provided and so on. So infant mortality rate has come down from 147 in 1951 to 75 in 2000. So in 1947, when India got freedom, the child mortality, infant mortality, that was 147. That means out of 1000, out of 1000 students, 1000 children born, they died, 147 of them died within 1 year. That is called infant mortality rate. So in 1947, when India got freedom, every 1000 children born, 147 used to die away even before completing 1 rate. That shows there was no health infrastructure, no health facility, no proper food and so on. So after 50 years or so, in the year 2000, it came down to how much? It came down to 75. So after 50 years there is so much improvement, almost it became half. So it shows the improvement of the health facilities in our country. Then crude birth rates have dropped to 26.1 and death rates to 8.7 within the same duration of time. So the crude death rate also has decreased. What is the crude death rate? I can see below that page 2 stars are given. Birth rate is the number of babies born there for every 1000 people during a particular period of time. That is a birth rate. So this birth rate have dropped to 26.1 and death rate to 8.7 within the same duration of time. That is, people began to live more years, and the crude birth rates, that means the struggling, no improper, some mothers are not able to go to hospital and so they are all now able to go to hospital and receive the help of the doctor and receive or give birth properly without much risk for their life. So that all facility have improved. An increase in life expectancy and improvement in child care are useful in assessing the future progress of the country. So if you want to see how our country is progressing towards the future, what we need to know? We need to increase the life expectancy and improvement in child care. So people have to live long. Now average life expectancy of a person is only 64. So that is too less. Some countries where the people are healthy, they are able to work till 75 years, 80 years, they are able to do work because they are healthy. But in India, when it is 65 years old, people are dying. That means maybe after 50 they are no more healthy, or after 60 they are no more healthy and they die away. So that is too short again. So in India, if we improve the health facilities, then people will be able to live strong, still longer. Maybe we can say 80. Then they can work maybe another 15 years more. So that will be more productive works done by these people. And also we need to take care when the children are born. So when they are young, if they are given proper nutritious food, then they will grow up, they will have natural growth rate, and they will be healthy people when they grow up. And they also will be able to work for many hours, long hours, and that way it will be an asset for our country. The real production will be done by these people who are healthy. Then reduction in infant mortality involves the protection of children from infection, ensuring nutrition along with mother and child care and so on. We said the infant child rate is still, the death rate is still, infant mortality rate is still very high. Earlier it was 147, now it has come down, but still out of 1000 children born, 75 children are dying every year. That is still high. So government has to provide medical facility for children when they are born, and they need to provide good food. Sometimes they may be dying because lack of nutrition in their body, and so government has to take care of mother and child and should provide, protect the children from infection. Suppose there is some serious sicknesses, government need to give injection to the children. Nowadays we know government is giving polio drops so that children will be saved from polio. Like that, there are so many sicknesses are there. So government is giving preventive sicknesses, preventive medicine to prevent them from these sicknesses. So government should continue all those things. Then only we can get a very healthy population in the future. So in the next page you can see table 2.2. There it is given how our health infrastructures are improving. You can see. So there is SC, PHC and CHC. In 1955 they were only 725. and when it became 81, it increased so much. It became 57,363. Then in the year 2001, it was double again or more triple again, 1,63,181. So there's a great improvement in the number of public health centers, community health center, and so on. Then let's see the case of dispensaries and hospitals. In the year 51, there were 9,209. Then in the year 81, it was increased to 23,555. Then in the year 2001, it was increased to 43,000 plus 43,322. So there is great steady improvement is there in the health infrastructure making. Then let's see how many beds are there in the hospitals. So in 51, there were 1,17,198 were there, beds were there. Then in the year 1981, it was increased 5 times more. It became 5,69,495. Then the year 2001, it was increased again. It became 8,70,161. Then let us see how many number of doctors are there practicing allopathy medicine. So in the year 51, there were 61,800 doctors were there. Then in the year 81, it was increased to 2,68,700. Then in the year 2001, it was increased to 5,03,900. So there is steady improvement there also. Now let's see how many nurses are there in our country. In the year 1951, there were 18,054 nurses were there. Then in 81, it was increased so much. It became 1,43,887. So from 18,000, it became 1,43,000. So there is so much of increase in the number of persons who are working as a nurse. Then in the year 2001, it was almost 6 times more. It was increased. 7,37,000 it became. So we see in every field in the health structure, in the health field, there is steady improvement our government is making. So we need to keep up that one. Still, after having all these facilities, we see still the infant mortality is 75 people per 1,000 is dying every day. So that is very high. In spite of having all these health facilities, doctors, nurses, our children are still dying. So maybe they like medicine, or maybe they like food, nutritious food. So if government can provide all these things, then certainly there will be great improvement in their life. They will be able to get good health. So there are many places in India which do not have even these basic facilities. So India is a vast country, there is a lot of places in the town, there are a lot of hospitals. If you go to a town, you will find so many hospitals, so many nursing homes, so many clinics, so many pharmacies, everything is there. And you go to interior villages, there is nothing. There may be a PHC may be there, public health center, and there may not be doctor, there may not be nurse, only one building will be there, one signboard also will be there, no medicine, no doctor, no nurse, nothing. Once in a month, sometime one doctor will come and say hi to everybody and he will go back. So that is the situation in our interior villages. But in the town, everybody is making hospitals because they are looking for profit as well. So it is the duty of the government to do free service, to look after the people, to help the development of the health of the people. So it is their duty to build infrastructure, hospitals and dispensaries even in the far away interior places, and appoint doctors and nurses there and make sure that they stay there and look after the people, help the people, regular supply of medicine, availability of medicine, all that. It is a duty of the government to make sure for that. But sorry to say, our government has miserably failed. Very few hospitals are there or dispensaries are there in the interior village, and the government failed to check whether the doctors are present or not, the nurses are present or not. If in our own state we know, if there is a serious sicknesses, there is no place, no hospital who is giving satisfactory service. We need to go to Guwahati or Kolkata or Bombay, Bangalore and so on, because we don't have that enough facilities here. So we are completely depending on others. Sometimes by the time we reach there, the patient dies because our roads are horrible. By the time a person from interior village coming down to the town, then it takes hours, sometimes it takes more than one day. And by the time if that person is suffering from serious sickness, he dies. So that is our fate, and so the people are dying, the children are dying, and therefore the government has to take extra initiative to set up hospitals with the good facilities, with the available medicine and doctors and nurses staying there, so that the people can have that benefit of health facility, modern health facility. So it is a duty of the government to check whether these people are doing their duty or not. Then doctors and nurses, only giving salary to them or appointing them is not enough. It is also the duty of the government to check whether they are doing their duty or not. Otherwise, they will be appointed in one hospital in the village and they will be running their pharmacy in the town and they will be making extra profit. So such kind of things means we are misusing, we are going against the plan of the government, and therefore it is the duty of the government officers to make sure that the officers are there present in the working place and the people are able to benefit from that. So let's hope that our health condition will improve much more, and the mortality rate of the children will come down, and the life expectancy of the people will be increased, and so we'll have a good health, a healthy population in our country who will be able to do great work, who will be able to work longer time and help the nation to grow, and every person in our country will be healthy, will be having good health, good food and good long life as well. So let us hope for that, and let us see that our country is progressing step by step. And so what we need is, we need to take extra care, we need to make ourselves educated and aware about the problems that are there in our country, and we ourselves need to do the best to get good health, good education and so on. I hope you understood the topics about health. And now another serious problem that our country facing is unemployment. Unemployment, that means they are qualified, they are trained, they are educated, but not having employment, not getting job. That's the meaning of unemployment. Let us see what is the situation of our country with regard to employment. So Sakhal's mother, let's see a story, that Sakhal's mother Sheila looked after the domestic chorus, children and helped her husband Bhuta in the field. So we talk about a lady called Sheila. Her son's name is Sakhal, and the work that she is doing is, she is looking after her children, her husband, looking after the family, house, cleaning, all that. And her husband is working in the field, and she will sometimes go and help him also dig the field and so on. Sakhal's brother Jitu and sister Sithu spend their time playing and roaming. So other two children, what do? They roam around, they play and waste their time. Can you call Sheila or Jitu or Sithu unemployed? If not, why? So, can you call these people in that family? Only the father is working in the field, so mother is only just helping, and the other children are only just walking around, playing around, running around. So can we all call them unemployed? Unemployed means not having job. Can we call these people as unemployed? Let's see. Unemployment is said to exist when people who are willing to work at the going wages cannot find job. So we can call a person unemployed if that person is ready to work, willing to work, and the job is available, then he is not able to work. Job is not available. He is willing to work, but job is not available. Then only there is no vacancy. Then only we can say he is unemployed. Suppose he is not willing to work. He wants only sleep all the time. He wants only play all the time, and there is job availability is there, but he is not willing to work. So we cannot call that one unemployment. Unemployment is a person willing to work, but he is searching and searching. He cannot find any job. He cannot find any opportunity to do the work. Then only we can really say he is unemployed. Then Sheila is not interested in working outside her house. And Jitu and Situ are too small to be counted in the workforce population. Neither Jitu, Situ or Sheila can be counted as unemployed. The workforce population includes people from 15 years to 59 years. So, in this family, we cannot call them unemployed because the mother is not interested in going out and searching for work. She is not willing to work outside. And others are too small. The children are very small. At least they should reach above 15 years of age. Then only they are qualified to get the work. So, in India, people who are willing to work and having age between 15 to 59, then they can say they are unemployed. So people who are 15 to 59 years old and they are ready to work but job cannot be found, then we can call them unemployed. Otherwise we cannot. So they should be willing to work and they should be within these years of age and still they cannot find the work. Then we can say those people are unemployed. But in the case of the Sheila and her children, first of all, they are not willing to work. They are not ready to work. Then only mother is above 15 years old, but other children are below 15 years. Therefore, we cannot count them as qualified to do the work. They are supposed to go to school and learn. So they are not workforce. So in the case of this family, we cannot say they are unemployed. She is not willing to work outside her domestic domain for payment. She too cannot be called unemployed. Sakat's grandparents, although not mentioned in the story, cannot be called unemployed. So these people, they are unwilling to work outside. The mother is unwilling to work outside. Then therefore she cannot be called unemployed. So in the case of India, we have unemployment in rural and urban areas. However, the nature of the unemployed differs in rural and urban areas. In the case of rural areas, there is seasonal and disguised unemployment, and urban areas have mostly educated unemployment. So, we can say in India we have two types of unemployment. One is called seasonal unemployment. Another one is called disguised unemployment. So one is seasonal, another one is disguised. So two types of unemployment we will find, it is seasonal and disguised. So for we shall wind up today, and in the next class we will explain exactly what is the meaning of seasonal unemployment and what is disguised unemployment. So shall stop today, and thank you for listening, and we will meet again in the next class. Until then, bye.